All right, did you do your homework? Hopefully at this point you have a working script that you wrote on your very own that actually counts up the amount spent by customer in our customerorders.csv file. So let's go ahead and take a look at how I did it and compare it to your approach. And if you did get stuck, that's okay. Take a look at my solution here and maybe you can go back and give it another try without looking at my solution, just to get you started. Hopefully you saw the similarities between this problem and the ratings counter and the word count problems that we've already solved. A lot of inspiration from that could be had. So to take a look at how I did it, go ahead and right click on the package and import my solution, which is in the file system. And if you go to your downloads for the course materials, come on, work with me here, you should see total spent by customer.scala, and that was my solution. Let's open that up and take a look. So you can see here that at a high level, I wrote a little function here that's used to map my input data into two fields, the two fields that I care about. So remember, what I'm trying to figure out is the total amount spent by customer. And our input data contains three fields, the customer ID, the item ID, and the purchase amount. I don't care about item IDs at all. That doesn't factor into my final result whatsoever. So all this mapping function is doing is taking an input line, splitting it up by commas, and then extracting the two fields I do care about into a key value pair, where the key is the customer ID from field 0, and the amount spent is the dollar amount from field 2. Okay. So that gets used down here in our main function. We do the usual thing to get rid of log spam and set up a Spark context like we always do. Then we load in our input data from the raw CSV file into an input RDD, and we apply that function we just wrote to convert that input data into key value pairs called mapped input, where again the key is at this point the customer ID and the value is the amount spent. At this point it's a simple matter of using reduce by key on the resulting RDD, where we tell it to add up all the individual prices together for a given customer. Remember, the key here is the customer, the value is the price. Reduce by key will add up all of the prices for a given customer given this addition function. And then we have an RDD that contains the results that we want. Total by customer, we're going to call it. We'll just collect it and then print out the results one line at a time. So let's go ahead and run that. Run configurations, Scala application, total spent by customer, com.sundogsoftware.spark.total spent by customer, and run it. And there we have it. This is all randomly generated fictitious data, so you can't really read much into it, but you can see it worked. We have a list of all the customer IDs and the amount each customer ID spent in total. And given the even distribution of the random data, they're all in roughly the same ballpark, so that looks about right. Very cool. Now, you're not done yet. Hopefully, maybe that was a little bit too easy for you. If so, I'm going to challenge you a little bit further. So if you did have trouble with this example, go back and try it again after you've seen the actual code that you can refer to. So I do want you to try and get something running on a piece of code that you actually typed in yourself, okay? If nothing else, copy this file over. Just make sure that you have the capability of writing code from scratch and running it here. And once you have some comfort with what's going on so far, let's take it to the next level. What I want you to do is actually extend this to sort the results so we can see who the biggest spenders are and the lowest spenders. So a little hint, remember that word count example we did where we ended up sorting the results to show the most frequent words and the least frequent words in my book, sorted that way. Same concept applies here. So go back and study that example and figure out how you can apply that same technique to our purchase data, our e-commerce data. So I want to get things sorted so that I see my cheapest customers, and as I get toward the end of the list, my biggest spenders. So sort the final list by amount spent using those same techniques. And when you're ready, go off and do that and come back to the next lecture and I'll show you my solution and you can compare my solution to yours. So go do your homework again and I'll see you in the next lecture.